Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. Where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kimberly with Unseen Twisted Truth. We are the People's Podcast, where your opinion matters. So come join us. We might not have a lot of people joining in today. Just because you see their little icons doesn't mean they're available to speak. So SGF Graham, it may be you and I for a little bit, and it might be a short one. So I don't know if you can hear me. But anyway, so tonight I want to talk about how a judgmental behavior can stem from a judgmental person. So I want to read the description real quick, because when I searched it on the internet, this is what came up. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that. So yeah, a judgmental mindset is directly related to a judgmental behavior, meaning that someone with a judgmental mindset is likely to exhibit behaviors that involve judging others excessively and harshly, often with a sense of superiority or negativity towards others. While a judgment itself can be a neutral act. What do you think of that, SGF Graham? Do you receive that judgmental behavior can equal to a judgmental mindset?
That's definitely true. It's kind of no way around it. I guess it more depends on what type of judgment, what type of judgmental person it is. Because you can always have a negative aspect on things, or it can be a person that always judge positive and they're played like a fool. I think it has to be a balance to it.
Yeah, and do you believe that maybe the intent makes a big difference too? Because if your intent to judge them is excessively and harshly because you think you are superior to them or negative in a negative manner.
Intentions is, I judge intentions more than I judge what people do. Like I've judged the intention of why they did what they did before I judge.
I can agree with that too. I think intent has a lot to do with it. I'm going to do this. Come join us. We're live.
Because it could simply just be somebody misunderstood, and now we're about to judge them off of not being misunderstood. I mean, off of being misunderstood, versus somebody that's deliberately doing something. They're going to get a different judgment than a person that's misunderstood.
Period. No, I agree. I like to think that, I used to say, if somebody, their intent matters way more. I used to say that. I used to say it's all about your intent, because if that is not what you intended and that's not somebody else perceived it, then that can be easily handled, because you can help somebody see things the way you're seeing it. You can't get them to see what you're seeing, but you can help them change how they perceive it by explaining your narrative and your, intentions behind it. I believe. Kendall said she just made it on time from her day and slid on black ice along the way home. That was my poor judgment for not seeing it. You couldn't see that as black ice, hence the reason why you slid. It's funny. You ever have a situation where people assumed or they perceived what your intent was differently than what your intention was? That's Jeff Graham.
Most definitely. I have I have assumed something. I have assumed things, and people have assumed things about me or whatever. It's been vice versa. You know, nobody's perfect when you coming up. Most of the time, you're around people that's talking about people. You hearing whether it's your parents talking to their siblings and they're gossiping about something in the town or something. Regardless, you're hearing all forms of judgment, and you start to think that's right until you start to realize that people are making wrong judgments about you, and you're like, wow, that's what you think about me, or that's what you thought about me. Like, it's amazing the things you'll hear when you finally hear, and you can't believe that's what people thought was going on or anything of that nature.
Yeah. I've had someone pass judgment upon me plenty of times, and they come to me and they would say, oh, well, you're this type of individual to be doing that. And I said, I am. I didn't know that. One, I didn't know that I was that type of person. And two, I didn't know that's what you thought.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think people need to be more honest and transparent with how they feel about someone instead of waiting for the moment to say it. Um,
or or even just in life, general, like one incident I can talk about without bringing up too much. Um, somebody decided they was gonna call the cops and say I had weapons of mass destruction. So I hear my dog barking. I kind of glance out the window to see what's going on. I see a line of cops, and I'm thinking they're going to, the truck spot. And so I'm calling down there like, hey, they coming. They like, nah, they jumping your fence. So, I go to jail, I come out of jail, and the first thing they say is, well, we knew you was we knew you was the plug. We knew you was the plug, man. They was talking about kicking your door in and everything. And it was nothing like that. But because I stayed to myself, I worked at BMW in South Carolina, so I had a little bit of money. Um, I wasn't out there with them or whatever, and they couldn't tell what I was doing because I didn't give them nothing to judge. Their judgment that was that I was the plug, and I was laying low, and they was actually plotting on me.
Crazy. It was a setup and you didn't even know.
Didn't even know it, all
Yeah.
because of what they thought a judgment.
I see that happening all the time to different people on how they look, on how they act, and everything. And then, like on the last show, that guy to come on and say, thou shalt not judge, no one should judge. Where does it say that? If you're going to follow some creed or you're going to follow some agreement that someone else put upon you, where did it stem from that thou shalt not judge? Every day, everyone's being judged. We're judging ourselves. We're holding ourselves in contempt every single time we think of a situation that we did that we should have done differently, that we thought we should have done differently. We're constantly holding ourselves in contempt. For that King guy, I invited him back on, but he didn't. I don't know if he's going to show up or not. But for him to say that he never passes judgment's odd to me,
He was
because
passing judgment on the line.
right there by saying that, I think when you make a choice, you're choosing to not make a choice is still making a choice. You're choosing to not make a choice. That's a paradox. You're still making a choice to not make a choice. Make
Yeah, I
sense?
got what. Yeah, it does. I got what he was saying, and so I decided to not to show him the wrong in it because I understood. Just like we said, I'm understanding. So I decided, okay, I see his intent. I'm gonna leave it alone because I see it comes with pure intent. So I'm gonna let him have that. If that's what keeps him pure, he can have that, even though he is making judgments while
Facts,
he's doing that.
facts, facts. So I like to say that I am striving to be perfect. I never once said that I am perfect, and I don't know if I ever will be. Striving to be is something differently. So when I say that, I apologize for all the noise in the background. When I say that I'm striving to be something, there's nothing wrong with me striving to be perfect. Just because you cannot wrap your head around the definition of perfect doesn't mean striving to be is wrong. There's when people hold truth to statements without knowing the what is it, the etymology of the word and what it holds, you're passing on judgment and saying, oh no, there's no way, nobody's perfect in this world. You're passing judgment because I said I'm striving to be. Do you receive that?
I receive everybody striving to be the perfect them. Yeah,
Doesn't mean that I'm
like
going to attain it, but there's nothing wrong with the striving to be it. If that helps me sleep at night, there's nothing wrong with what I said. I'm not saying that I'm going to use people, hurt people, rob from people. If I strive to be something that you may feel that's not reachable, doesn't make me a bad person for speaking that. My intent is pure and genuine still. And that's where you were coming from with that guy when he said, "Thou shalt not judge." You know what he was saying. You knew his intent, even though his direction was wrong and his wording was wrong. His intent was there.
exactly. As a as a as a growing wise man, I learned that you don't argue. Because if you argue and then he finds out I'm right, then he'll really resent me. Like, who is he, Mr. Know It All? But if I state what I have to say, and he finds out later on, then he'll feel like he discovered it and he just heard it from me, and he will come and get more information. Like I learned that along the way. Like, the battle of the brain just make people resent you.
Facts. And a lot of people come from ego, pride.
Definitely.
They're not coming from the fact that they want you to also know. They're coming from the fact that they want to show that they are right. That's the power. To have a utopia in this realm, after I have a different feeling, so I believe in the shift and everything like that and the new planet and stuff, but after the change, after everything, to have a utopia within self, you have to remove a lot of agreements that people put upon you in belief systems. You're going to have to start over as like an exit sketch as a clean slate. Start fresh, start new from every day we're learning something. And there's knowledge everywhere. And I believe ignorance is just an excuse to not know, especially this day and age. You can turn on anything, and I'm not saying everything you find on the internet is true. I'm just saying you can do the research and go down that rabbit hole and undiscover and to rediscover so many things that there's no reason that you don't know something.
Just scared.
Fear. Fear. See, there's a pattern here with this show. and we are helping people see things that they are not aware of because they're either one, too close to the situation where they're not able to see it, or two, ignorance. They just don't know. They don't know that that's what it is that's stopping them from growing. They don't know what's holding them back. Fear is the biggest thing in this world, though.
Fear and anger. It's a
Fear
lot
and
of
anger.
people that's it's a lot of people that's so angry in what they tried to believe in, versus, majority religion, and everything that they believed in the religion that they tried kicked them in the face, and then they just become angry towards anything that isn't selfish.
So, do you believe it's a place of feeling like you belong? Do you believe that everybody wants to feel like they belong something in something or somewhere?
No, I feel like it's a void of answers. Like one thing that I understood the deeper that I dived into religion itself, if you want to get into the actual facts, when people speak on the physical part of the religion, not the spiritual parts of religion, but the physical parts of religion is segregation to the fullest. Every religion is about a race when you look down into it. Whatever, one race is above the all, is above the rest, and they're gonna, crazy things or whatever. But when you look at the spiritual aspect of it, it has nothing to do with that group, period. It was open to everybody. But because the way they teach it, they teach fear. They teach fear. For one, there's no way that you can, like the preacher would say, you got the love with the fear of God. I can't name nobody that's ever loved something that they feared.
I can't
We would have,
remember.
like it doesn't go together. So how do you expect me to do that or whatever? And so, and then it comes with, I don't want to blame it. I don't want to blame it on history lessons, because information is out there all over the internet. And one thing I will say about the new generation, they are not scared to look up information.
Facts.
Well, that's one thing I love about the new generation. That history book is not just all they're holding on to. Um, but I don't. I think it's not really belonging. I think it's really just finding their self. I think people are okay with being different now. The world has made it okay to feel different, but people they're so people so ready to be different that they don't even know who they are.
Mm. And like I said beforehand, you almost have to start over. You
You
almost
gotta start over.
have to reborn yourself and relearn yourself and relove yourself and start over with your own thought process because we have been trained.
It's rough. Doing
It's
that is
raw.
rough.
Hi,
I'm going through
Henry.
the roughness.
Peace,
I
peace.
love y'all. And I relate to you, SGF, on that. And hello, Danny and Kendall. I'm sorry I haven't answered any messages. My life is crazy.
Exciting.
That's exciting.
Mhm.
It's exciting. I got bananas too. That's exciting. Very
Yeah.
good for you. Bananas
So,
and throwing knives.
so Danny said he once feared his father. He still loves him, but he once feared him. And I don't think that he feared them. This is just my opinion, though. Kendall loves
I,
bananas. This is my opinion, though. I think it was that you had higher respect for him, that you looked at him in a different light than what you really saw him in. Now, that's just my opinion because I
I
don't know.
say,
Maybe he did.
hey Danny, can you jump on and
At
explain
work.
it? Oh
No,
yeah,
he's at
work. Oh, okay. I
Well,
would
I
like
love
to
you
know that
guys.
dynamic.
love you. He don't get his break yet, but he said I feared him. It was the feeling in my youth. Yeah. Because of respect, I do believe. Because he held such a high respect to you in your eyes, and that you couldn't be the man to that. You couldn't walk in his shoes. And then
I
once you
feared my mother
see, and why'd you fear your mother?
because she was a fucking monster. Because she would in one hand tell me she loved me. She would tell me that, and then the other hand, all of that was hollow because her actions were just horrible. So it was very confusing to me, and I was scared. She was a loose cannon.
So did she have judgmental behavior?
Yes, she judged everybody before herself. She took it to the extreme, you know. She didn't just assess people. She didn't just go, I don't know if I can fuck with this person. She thought her shit didn't stink, and she just could not see past her own problems, or her own problems were so big that they just encompassed everything. It's crazy how far deep you can get into a delusion. And the smarter you are, I guess, the harder it is to dig out. And then Danny, what did Danny say? I definitely feared my mother. She was aggressive and abusive. I agree with though. Yeah. Yeah, it was hard. It's hard.
As a youth, though, when we see ourselves minute and small and like dependent on the people that brought us here, that gave us life, that not even gave us life, the people that raised us, because I wasn't raised by my biological parent. I feared my stepmom more than I did her, only because she tried taking me out of this realm. So, like, I think when we look at somebody and we're youth and we can't make our own decisions, we can't pay our own bills, we depend on them. We're going to look at them. Huh?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, Kimberly.
We're going to look at them with huh?
You do depend on them.
We do depend on them, and we're going to look at them differently. We're going to look at them in a superior way. So once we realize that they're just trying to figure shit out too, and that they're fucking me up and themselves up along the journey also. So they don't got it all written out. They don't got the playbook. They don't know something, the cheat code that we don't know.
No, I gotta say this before I go because I gotta keep moving. Is that my parents weren't ready, and then you gotta be careful with that because they are just people, like you said. You know, we look at them as in a certain light, and you realize shit. You know, I realize they didn't know jack sometimes. But I love you guys. I wanted to at least talk on the podcast for a minute. I really was I couldn't stay away from it. You guys are doing good.
Love you too, and you got it, bro. You got it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I love you. I'll be in the background like Batman.
Okay.
Yep.
So Robin and Plug said, I tend to be extremely critical and judgmental of myself, which then projects you. What projects to others? Yeah.
So I didn't fear nobody. It ain't a soul in the life that I fear.
Me neither.
But I'm more like, I'm talking about even like growing up in my youth.
Oh,
like,
as a kid, now
like,
she had shotguns.
like I wasn't scared of them either. I was over respectable. I was over respectable.
I was respectful, yeah, because I figured.
But I wasn't scared of nobody. I was over respectable because that way, if they disrespected me, I didn't feel bad about how far I might go.
Okay.
So like that was my way of not getting in trouble because I was so ready to get at people. But my thing was my judgmental on myself. Like I more feared the thoughts that I had about myself because I knew that whatever I thought, like as a youngin', I just always knew that whatever I thought, that's what happened. I didn't understand manifestation. I just understood that every time I thought something negative, it happened. Whatever, but it was like I couldn't never get out of the negative thought. And so it was like I was always so negatively judgmental about myself. I I always want greatness to happen, but I'll be like, watch this happen. And sure enough, it happened.
Yeah, you spoke it.
So I'm like robbing the plug. It was judgmental of myself.
When I was younger, I used to tell myself my relationships were good until I spoke upon them. Once I said, how great they were out my mouth, Then all of a sudden, the universe changed it and they went sour. And I realized that I was for wishing that. I was speaking that to existence and wanting that to happen unconsciously. Because everything starts with a thought. And that's what we're talking about next week. But everything starts with a thought. So the fact of that, it never existed until I gave it energy. And then once I gave it energy and thought about it, I was waiting for it to happen. So I was looking for it. Does it make sense? So I can see where people, if you're extremely critical of yourself and you're passing judgment upon yourself every single day, that people, it's going to rub off onto people because they can feel that energy. They feel how you feel. I don't know about you, but I can walk in a room and I can tell you really don't fuck with me because I can feel how they feel when I walked in the room. Do you agree with that, SGF Graham?
Yeah, I had to call somebody out a few days ago and let them know, I don't know what's being said, but I ain't really the one to be talking about like that, And ever since then, that giggles and all that go on, it ceased to exist. I didn't approach it aggressively or whatever. I just let them know, like, yeah, I'm really not the one. In fact, I'm taking a vacation day or whatever. They was like, what for? I was like, I'm taking a vacation day, get away from this weird shit. And I just looked at them and I just walked off or whatever. And I took my vacation day or whatever. And I haven't heard nothing else,
Yeah. You know what I've noticed, and I'm going to say this from of self, because that's all I can do. I can only voice off of self. I've noticed that the quieter I've been and the more I've stayed in myself and not involved myself in stuff, the more peace I've had with inside myself, the more knowing that I will, if I snap, there's no stopping me. There's no stopping me if I ever open up that cap, because I put it dormant for so long and I maintained it and contained it for so long that it's controlled now. But if I ever let it out, I don't think I could stop it.
I definitely feel you, but in fact, that's probably the way I've been living for the last 7 years. And starting maybe like August of last year, I decided I have to take that unsafe route. In order to reach the success that I want, I have to take that unsafe route and trust that the energy and everything that I bring, it will attract the right ones to my situation. Like, I had to become unsafe in order to trust the universe, so to say, and to get out of, practice getting out of that negative mind.
Evil is in all of us. There's good and bad and there's balance in everyone. For someone to say that they've never had no thought of anything ill, never once thought between right and wrong, I want to say that they're not speaking truth. I don't know no one person I've never met. Maybe there is, but I've never met somebody who never ever had to give themselves discernment between right and wrong. There may be people out there. I don't know everybody. I just think that it's a balance. There's good and evil in every situation. Even when they talk about the Bible and God or not God, but Jesus and stuff, whatever is in the Bible that people are familiar with. When they speak on that, very just, merciful, also evil. It's evil. Like, there's evil in that book. So for people to say that they got to live their life by it and walk by the creed of it, they don't realize what that really intends, what that really entails.
God says in the Bible, I created good and bad. He didn't say the devil did or nothing. He said, I created good and bad. It was so people to all, if people know what they're reading, it tells people to read books in the Bible that are forbidden. I just say that, I'm not going to say their names to get things flagged or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
these books are so-called forbidden because they're so dark and all that stuff or whatever. And the Bible says to learn from that. Whatever, like if people really knew how to read it, they will understand how powerful they are and that they don't have to belong. They already belong. Like you're trying to belong in something that you're already a great factor of.
Yes, Kendall, that's exactly what he's saying. Separate from the herd. Exactly what he's saying. I've read a lot of books and I've put my hands on a lot of things. I was just studying the Nation of Islam last year. And everybody has something in common. Everybody wants you to believe what they think and how they feel to be true and to obey by what they say. It's still a power and a control thing to me. Everybody wants you to bow to them, basically. And it's weird to me. I can't wrap my head around a lot of things. I don't have an understanding why people do what they do. Why does somebody want to be the head of the herd? Ants, you think ants are fighting over who is the head of the colony? Or they're just doing their job as ants? I don't know. That's I can't wrap my head around different things like greed, envy, jealousy, ego. I'm okay. I don't want to own anything myself or do anything alone. I want a tribe. I want people to benefit and reap from it also. I don't think that I'm going to get further in life if I was the only one that could take what I have to offer. That's just my opinion. But there's a lot of things that come from judgmental behavior, and there's a lot of reason why people do it. I like to see both sides and say, I get it. I get it. Even if I can't relate, and even if I'm not of that, doesn't mean I can't receive it. I see where they're coming from and why they do it. I can't wrap my head around it, but I see it. I see why. And my opinion is a lot of people that do that, usually it's because they see something within themselves, because we mirror people. The energy that we put out is the energy we get back in return. We're all reflections of each other. What do you think of that one, SGF Graham?
I agree that who you are around, y'all do start reflecting each other eventually, physically. The things you say, even your accent. I've caught myself laughing like one of my friends.
Yeah.
And be like, wow, I've never laughed like that. Like I've heard other people do it, and I start just laughing like that is not your laugh. Like you start to reflect more than people even recognize.
Yeah. That's why I like to keep my circle tight and small and only allow what's for me in it, because one, you can't trust everybody, and two, you have to have healthy boundaries, and you have to have some kind of formation, direction, structure. Even the ants, they all know their job, and I don't know if they question it. I have never spoke to an ant, so but they all work as one, knowing their job purpose. I don't know how much violent it is in the ant world. I've never done a study to see how violent ants are to each other. But I do believe that we're the only species that really kill for fun.
No, ants are very vicious, but as long as they have a queen, long as they have that one queen in charge, they'll never fall out of line. Like they don't fight each other.
That's
But
what I'm saying. With
other
each other.
colonies, yeah, they're very vicious with other colonies, but not
Right.
with each other. They never fall out of line with each other as long as that one head is up there.
Yeah, no, other colonies. But I've never seen, I think that this is the only species that really fight for fun because of ego, pride, and all this other stuff. It's not because they have no other choice. I've never, I don't know.
Ego and power. Ego and power.
Ego and power. Ego and power. We're going to talk about that on one show. I tend to, Kendall, I tend to think I make my own lane too, and then I see others in there just like me. So I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not the only one that feels this way or thinks this way. I believe that this is going on. Other people are talking about this at this present moment right now somewhere else.
You're still in your own lane. They're just on parallel paths.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Frequencies,
Still in
different
your own lane.
frequencies. Still in
Yeah.
your own lane. Just different frequencies. So if somebody is a judgmental person and they don't realize they are, I wonder what the signs are to help them. I should Google that. See, I don't know. I like to Google things.
I'm petty. I give them their medicine back. And then when they finally ask me why am I acting like this all of a sudden, I tell them why. Even if they don't stop, they stop doing it in front of me. Sometimes asking them, like I cut them off and be like, "Dad, I wonder what you say about me when I'm not around."
Yeah.
They usually pause it, but helping them, I don't know. You might have to look that up and see what psychology got to say about that.
I'm about to. It just started showing me stuff about YouTube. I didn't even put that in.
The only thing I could think is ABA behavior, ABA therapy.
Okay. To be less judgmental, a person can practice empathy, develop compassion, actively listen to others, consider different perspectives, be mindful of their thoughts, avoid making assumptions, and try to understand the situation from another person's point of view. Essentially focusing on understanding rather than judging based on the limit information. Yeah, no, that's what I agree. I agree with that too. Change your behavior. Change how you see it. Rewrite your history. Rewrite your belief system. Start scratch. Take that Exit sketch of life and shake it and start over. I got a different response with the word judgment. What's your response? You can speak if you want to speak. Kendall, can you speak?
Hi there.
Hi. What'd you
Okay.
get?
One sec. Oh, I just lost it. One sec. I'll find it.
Okay.
One of those days.
That's
Hang on
okay.
a sec. Let's see. Okay, so I got different selections for the word judgmental for how it is. So the word uncaring, they lack empathy for others.
Mm-hmm.
Devaluing, they may devalue others to feel superior.
Mm-hmm.
Quick to judge, they form opinions of people with situations very quickly.
How do we help somebody be, one, be aware of it, and two, change the behavior?
Ooh.
That's what I was asking Google.
Maybe it's the realization that they are in the wrong.
Really?
Maybe.
SGF Graham, do you think telling somebody that they're wrong is going to help them see it?
Nope. I believe it's just going to cause resentment or argument. Um,
How do we allow them to see it for themselves and come up with their own decisions? Because a lot of people don't want to be told what's wrong with them. They don't want to be shown what's wrong with them. They want to come up with themselves and say, "Hey, this is what's wrong with me. Maybe I shouldn't do this." So, how to make somebody see that it's their ideal to change? It's their ideal for betterness.
I don't know. Maybe put the shoes on the other feet.
Period.
Like, yeah. What if when I first met you, I thought blah 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 blah. You know, how would you feel? And we never got this cool. The first time I met you was very negative. And then I went around gossiping about it like it was true. How would you feel? You know, now if he continue or she continue to do it, they continue to do it, whoever, that's on them. But you just gave them a prime example. That's one of the things that I decide not to invest in when it comes to a person. You know, I show them, but I won't invest in it. You know, you're going to be who you decide to be, especially when you know you made the light bulb click in their head and they just stay persistent to being that type of person.
I believe there's non-functioning players in this world on purpose. So, some will never get it. Those that get it, get it. Those that don't, won't. There's nothing going on there. They're not supposed to. They're blank on the inside.
I definitely say that at work. I definitely say that.
I remember when I was younger, and I did this intentionally. This was my intent. When I was younger, I saw a stove, and the stove had the little metal bars, flames with the glass. I still put my finger through the metal bars to touch that glass to see if it was a tempered glass if it got hot. Because I wanted to know why the glass didn't break from the heat. Not thinking, why are the metal bars there? To stop people from touching the glass. I still stuck my finger in between the metal bars to see if that glass was hot. Sometimes.
I do wild stuff like that.
Yeah. I used to take shit apart just to find out how it worked because I wanted to know. I asked a lot of whys when I was younger. My hand was always raised in school.
I grew up watching MacGyver, so I thought all that was true.
Me
I
too.
thought all that was true. I was sticking bubble gum up under the door when Mama grounded me trying to blow it up. I was doing
I
all
always
types.
have a paper clip with me. I still to this day I have a paper clip beside me. I always kept one with me. You can do a lot with a paper clip.
Yeah, you can. I was beefing with people. I take dad old watches and tied up to their door, thinking I'm gonna blow their door up. Me and my cousin going running, hiding in the bushes, waiting for it to blow up. It never blow up.
That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. I like that. That's funny. I wasn't that extreme, but that's good. I get it. I ain't mad.
I was extreme. I was.
I ain't mad. To not know though, like I said before about ignorance, I think that after so long, you become enabling the person when you continue to allow that behavior to set in. You are allowed to remove someone from your life. Nobody has to be in your life. I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are. I don't care what position they hold in your life. They do not have to be in your life. Nobody does. From your children to your parents to your spouse, we have a choice here. And I think if we are unmindful of ourselves and we are passing judgment upon others and it affects everybody around us, we need to step back and realize that the math ain't math, and maybe we are the equation that needs to be removed. Maybe we are the one that's causing the problems. I have removed myself from myself because I realized I couldn't be with myself at that present moment. I took a break from me. until I got myself together. I put myself in adult timeout plenty of times. I had two choices: repeat the cycle or become the difference. And I chose to become the difference. So now I had to take accountability and responsibilities and be mindful of myself. I used to always think that I was being attacked and that anytime people said something, I had to defend myself, even though I was allowed to say I don't know. I didn't have to come up with an answer. I always thought I had to come up with an answer, and I had to defend myself because I wanted people to see where I was coming from. And nobody really got to see what I was seeing. So I overly explained it. And then I realized that's none of my business, and I don't really care what they think. And if they don't see where I'm coming from, that's their problem, not mine. And I don't care how I got there. I'm happy that I got there. A lot of people are still people pleasing and worrying about what someone else thinks of them. If I could give one advice for the show tonight, is until you decide that you are able to control everything around you and create with your hands, literally, just out of thought, create with your hands. Don't act like you're walking above anybody until you start walking above somebody. Because everybody's dealing with something. At this present moment, everybody's dealing with something. And we're all having that one choice. And you never know who may be snapped and be like, yeah, I can't do this no more. And you be a casualty. That's just my opinion. If you could leave one word of advice, what would you leave them, SGF Graham?
Only pass judgment for those you intend to have in your circle. Everybody else don't need no judgment on.
I won't even pass judgment out of my circle. Promise you. Until I can walk in their shoes, I can't tell you what they're doing wrong. I will bring to your attention if I feel some type of way, and I will let you be aware of it, but I can't pass judgment upon you.
It doesn't have to be personal like that. It can be judgment as in positions in the company, who fits where, whatever, like these are the judgments that I would pass because we're in the circle. I believe in us. I believe in whatever circle I'm dealing with or whatever, but everybody else, there's no need for me to pass judgment because they're on the outside. Why am I wasting that energy?
You want to know what I loved most about my relationship with Danny? From the beginning, not only did I do it right and vetted him first and celibacy, all that. I did all that first, and I'm grateful for that. I also have said to them, and I've never done this with nobody. Anything I've ever done with him, I've never done with no one. I also said to him, help me see where you're coming from. Because I can't receive what you're saying and I don't see what you're saying does not mean what you're saying is wrong. Help me see that. Help me see the way you see it. Because I put out smoke before it even starts. I'm peace, love, and everything. And if it can't be peace, love, and everything around me, I don't surround myself around it. And the people that I love in my circle are all peace, love, everything. You got to put your ego aside. You got to put your pride aside. And I look at life as a business. Relationships are business. Life's a business. And can I do business with you or can I not do business with you? That's how I judge and assess people, whether or not we're able to do business together. And I'm being honest and transparent. And I've been honest and transparent with everybody who knows me from day one. So sometimes just because you don't see it like somebody else does, doesn't mean you can't help. They can't help you see why they feel the way they do. So I'm going to wrap this one up. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and your opinion matters. We are the People's Podcast, and you can come and talk about whatever you want to talk about with us, and we will not pass judgment. I will not pass judgment. I promise you, my tribe will not pass judgment. That I can say with effort and ease to know to be true. Do you have anything to say, SGF Graham, as we wrap it up? You got anything coming out? Anything coming down? Anything you're about to do? I heard something about shoes. What do you got going on?
Yeah, I got several coming out soon. Several shoes coming out. I will be talking about it soon. I got a video that I'm waiting on the editing, and I'm working on 2 more videos. I have an album that's coming out in April. Even though I still haven't officially put out this other album, I still have this album coming out in April called 888. You know, I'm gonna catch the beginning of spring. It's about to be fun this year. It's about to be fun.
Period. Alrighty then. So next week we're going to talk about, what was that again? We were going to talk about. I forgot. We were going to talk about matter. Everything starts with thought.
Okay.
Everything starts with a thought. I really want to talk deep on that one though. I really want to talk deep on that. And eventually I want to get to the point where we change off of Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn and start doing like Venmo or something different. Maybe Vivo, something different so that we can talk about more stuff and I don't care about getting flagged or discontinued. Patreon.
Go to Discord.
So I do want to talk about the stuff because this is Unseen Twisted Truth, and we talk about the stuff that they don't want us to talk about.
Did you hear what I said? I said go to Discord.
Discord?
Yeah.
Discord does that? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. That's what most people on YouTube, on the things that they'll get flagged for, they talk about it on Discord.
Okay. I'm going to look into that. And then we're going to set up our Patreon too. And we're still in the process of starting the music publishing this year. So that'll be all done too. But all right, Kendo, you want to say something before we wrap this up?
Oh, well, it's really good tuning in, even though it's a bit late, but it's really good conversations for what's going on and what's taking place. And just be yourself no matter what happens in life. Just be you.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like you, then shake that board and redraw the picture, because at the end of the day, you are the one that's holding the board or the paintbrush or whatever you want to say. You created this. May your night be full of positive energy and high vibrations and peace and love. And thank you for being part of our family and allowing us in your house, in your ear, or in your car, or wherever you hear it from. Ashe, everyone.
Peace.
Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is, where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable.